Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Pattern Interrupt Show with Jess and Amy. Today, we're going to be talking about productivity hacks and some really cool things. Jess has some really great insights that she uses with her clients that we're going to be talking about today. And then we're going to be introducing Ashley Sanders to you, who we love and adore, and it's going to be comical, so be prepared. Woohoo! So you are unapologetically authentic, and it's awesome. So is Jess. And Jess and I were chatting the other day about like how people are trying to combine humor with business, and particularly with the marketing, in order to like attract or repel or whatever. And you are funny. Whether you come across that or not. But I would kind of like to discuss maybe how, like, what your thoughts are, how people are doing it right or wrong, and this whole PC thing. Like, it's just so... it's so exhausting trying to be politically correct.
If you're gonna be PC, it's because you've established that you're like a fucking hippie from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, you've established that. Like, you don't have to necessarily be PC. And if you want to get away with not being PC, just joke around a lot with people. Like, don't post a bunch of sensitive shit and then use the R word, which is don't use that word and then wonder why it backfires. Of course it's going to backfire because people have this expectation of who you are, and then you go and blow their mind, and then you're like, what happened? I was just joking. And it's like, well, you're an idiot because you don't understand the concept of continuity. You know what I mean? You have to be, it's all continuity. I can basically say whatever I want because people have no idea what the fuck to expect. Sometimes it's super smart. Sometimes it's really weird. Sometimes it's like, that's real fucked up, Ashley, and you probably shouldn't have said that. And it's like, yeah, whatever. But the continuity that I give to people is that I'm going to bring you something every time. You just don't know what, you know, whereas I can 9 times out of 10 before I even click continue reading on most people's posts. I know exactly where it's going. I know exactly what it's going to say. And it's like, you've established something already. And then when you throw some, like, you know, you throw a freaking, there's like a saying where you throw something and it throws people out of whack or whatever. But when you do that and you get mad when it backfires, you're an idiot. You know, like, that's basically what it is. You establish yourself, and then you have to continue to build that. If you're trying to transition your brand, then slowly do it. Slowly transition. If you're trying to go from PC to un-PC, which would be weird and probably need to be medicated, but like, if you're trying to do that, like, slowly but surely take the PC out of your brand and do it like slowly. Like, post a meme that's like funny and edgy, but not like, you know, Facebook jailworthy, which I have some of those. If you go on Who's This on Instagram, you'll probably find some of them. It's really funny. Yeah, but it's a matter of, if you want humor in your content, and you're not a funny person, like, don't. It's okay. Right. You don't have to be funny. It's okay. Like, no, I don't, you know, like, you are who the fuck you are. Some people genuinely are not funny, and we get it, and we love you anyway.
Is there too far? Is there something that's too far? Is there somewhere where you wouldn't go?
Me?
You.
In public? Yeah.
Yes, in public.
Yeah, in public, there are places I won't go. Like, I won't talk about somebody's mother. Like, being like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't talk about people's families. And if someone has like
your mom jokes.
Oh, well, your mom is like funny, but like, I wouldn't like personally attack someone's family. Like,
do people really do that, for the record? Actually,
yes.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, people are cruel, dude, and like, people are. I think people don't understand the difference between like a joke and just just completely ridiculously not offensive, but literally like threatening. You know, like, and I mean, when I mean threatening, I don't mean like they're harming your life. I mean, it's harming them because somebody is going to come punch you in the fucking face. Like, you know, and people post content like that. And it's not funny, and it's not amusing, and it's not, you know, it's damning, and it's alarming, and quite frankly, it's annoying. And if you want to be that person, that's perfectly fine, but don't get mad when your shit doesn't sell, because people don't buy from fucking cocksuckers. They buy from douchebags, they buy from assholes, they won't buy from fucking cocksucker. I swear to God. And there's a line, man. There's like a...
I'm going to need you to expand on the difference between a cocksucker, an asshole, and what's the other one?
I'm glad we have this gauge. So there's a gauge I have, a gauge of offensiveness.
Okay.
Right? I do. I have this. And so it's like douchebag. Douchebags are the people who like say stupid things that are kind of funny, but you know, like they mean it in like a good gesture. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're just being lighthearted and fun, even though it's kind of like, dude, that's a little... They're like cringy. They're the cringy ones. Then you got assholes. Assholes are the people who will give you really good advice, but don't give a shit. I would be an asshole. So like, they'll give you really good advice. They just don't give a shit about what they post. And if you take offense to it and you say something to them, they'll say, dude, I'm sorry. You know, like they'll apologize because their intention isn't necessarily to hurt your feelings. It's just a post that they're posting, you know? And so then we have fucking cocksuckers. These are the people who don't give a shit about anyone's feelings, who don't give a shit about life, who are miserable as fuck and will do anything they can in their lives to be negative and post negative shit. They post it on your stuff. They'll comment on it. They'll send you a nasty-ass message. They're just horrible. And those are the people you want to stay away from.
I'm glad you gave us that gauge. So do you have any advice on how to maybe... I don't even know what my question is. Like how to stay in the safe zone, but still being authentic. Maybe authentic, whether it's funny or not peace.
Know your level of humor and don't go past it.
What was that?
Know your level of humor and don't go past it. Like, what if something doesn't make you funny? Stay away from those people who make jokes like that. I think almost everything is funny.
Yeah.
Literally to the point where it's kind of sick. But some people are very sensitive, you know, and they don't think everything or anything is funny unless it's like a penguin falling. And then they're like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. You know, like, no, he's fine. He's just a penguin. And it's very funny. So those people, you know, you stay away from them, or you don't stay away from them. They'll stay away from you. And just don't put yourself, it's social media. You choose what you consume. You choose it. You can't sit here and be upset when you're, you know, friending some guy whose cover photo says like, death to all people with toes, you know, and then like you have toes and you're upset when he's like posting anti-toe content. Like, you can't do that to you. It's retarded. Like, it's crazy. So choose what you consume, be mindful, and constantly update your network to where you're consuming what you want. It's like, come on, people. You have brains.
Like that. Great advice. Don't be the toe guy, basically.
Don't be anti. I could have went so many ways with the death to all, and I was like, this could be that.
And that's what I was kind of trying to point at. It's like sometimes it's like before I was saying, so I've said a few jokes or I've commented a few times. I'm like, I could insert like a feminine, like I'm offended as a female. Like I could so I'll say insert feminist.
Yeah, rant.
But I'm not. Like I know the other person's well-intentioned, or I kind of know what they're saying, or. And if they aren't, like, if they are, like, just, like you said, what was that, cocksucker?
Yeah.
I don't ever say that word.
You're a mother. You should not be saying you have a bell in your hair. You should never say that.
If they are the third level, then I just unfollow them, because it's like, I don't like this drama. It's like, I do believe that there's certain, and Jess and I have talked about this, there is a certain level, especially when you're a business owner, but for the most part, it's like, it's high school drama to like nitpick, I guess.
And see, that's where we're a little different. Sometimes I don't unfollow people because I personally, I don't get involved in drama, but I like to watch it like unfold. I've talked about this a lot. So like there may be like a dramatic situation or a person like that posts something, and I sure as hell will follow that fucking post so that I can read the comments. Now, granted, I may feel a certain way about it. Like, it may get to me, and I may feel like, okay, like, fuck you and you, but not you. But I won't insert myself into that because I can't let it get to, because I know that it'll get to me. But it's fun for me to sit back and read other people's drama.
Yes.
And screenshot it and send it to Ashley because they'll delete the post later. But I won't insert myself in
That's such a funny flip side to this conversation of humor and business, and especially on Facebook. This shit is everywhere. There's drama everywhere. I know even Jess and I almost take screenshots and be like, can you believe this person?
What you do?
No offense to anybody watching. It's very rare, but yeah.
It's about you.
Oh,
it is
I do
about
it.
you.
I'll send it back to you. I'm not scared.
Just kidding. No, but I think it's funny because like everybody has like a different like version of cocksucker. Like a cocksucker to me may be different I think than Amy's or than Ashley. I think each person has a different level. Like Amy's level is probably higher than mine and much higher than you know what I mean? I feel like we all have like a level like a level of where we'll get offended or like I don't know necessarily that I consider myself like a politically correct person, but I do have certain things that I don't feel comfortable saying or like don't feel comfortable like hearing someone else say, like generalizing specific groups of people or sexes or races or what have you. So I then choose not to, you know, affiliate or surround myself with those people. Or if I do, then they are aware that I'm offended by that or that doesn't like resonate with me. And if they respect me as a friend or someone in my tribe, then they may make themselves a little bit less, not less transparent or not less authentic, but they'll like, we've talked about this before, Amy, like the level of transparency or like the level of like
the opacity, that like opacity bar.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't say something on purpose or that I know that Amy is offended by because I respect her as a friend, even though I may feel that, right?
Ashley would.
But no, I think that you can be, you know, friends with, you know, a huge variety of people, and especially if they, you know, don't think that the way that you do, but that the level of respect that you have for people, you know, dictates how that relationship goes, I guess.
Absolutely. I completely agree. My husband highly encourages me to not post political things, and I really don't, but I did one the other day, and you know, we got into an engaged discussion, and I don't like to offend, like I don't get easily offended, but I like that debate. But I did follow up with someone later, and I was like, are we still good? Like,
are we still friends? I'm sorry.
She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, like I feel like I've even had people like reach out to me like after a conversation, like, did something happen? Like I felt like, you know, things kind of changed or like got uncomfortable. Like I just want to make sure that we're good. And I mean, that just shows you like, I don't know, how much someone values you as a friend or in a relationship. Like, and then, I mean, you can say, yes, you know, you did offend me, or like, and that allows you to have like an adult conversation instead of like calling someone a cunt, you know, and like getting into like, I saw someone post like a political post and got into it with like the husband of this guy, and then she ended up blocking him, and then his wife sent this woman a message like name calling her and doing all that. I'm like, whoa, like this is like some serious shit. Like, so I should have.
At what point do you screenshot that and be like, come on guys, like let's poke fun at people who are taking this too seriously?
Oh, me and Jessica are screenshotting at all times, and it's like, bitch, did you see this? Like, this is insane, and it's just because it's so ridiculous. Like, you're on Facebook, you like I said, you choose this shit. You're choosing to engage with someone who's probably halfway across the world, doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't even know when your birthday is, like, and you're arguing with this person, trying to change their opinion, and you have veins popping out of your neck for no reason.
And also, I feel like sometimes people polarize just to polarize. Like, they may not necessarily feel super strongly about something, but they're going to polarize just to be that person.
Just to stir the pot.
Just for fun. Which,
what are your thoughts on that?
Me or Ashley?
Both of you. You're talking, you start. I know you have to leave soon, so we're
It depends on the subject. Like, I will polarize something just to polarize. Like, if I feel indifferent, like, fuck it, I'll pick a side. If I feel educated enough to pick a side, then fuck it, I will. Like, and really, also too, keeping in the back of my mind that I am still, you know, trying to, or I'm repelling those people who don't agree with me or like me. So, like, in choosing a polarization side, I keep that in my mind. Like, do I really want to go there? Fuck it, I'm going to, you know, and know that I may be, you know, kicking some people out of, people may be unfriending me because of that, and I'm okay with it when I choose that side.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Ashley?
Oh, I just think it's like, it depends on the person. If you're just doing it, just do it all the time. Usually it just means you have nothing better to do, and I feel bad for you. Like, get a job or something. If you're just doing it, you know, for funsies and it is what it is, then every so often, yeah, I can engage with an argument. But if you're just annoying people just to be fucking annoying, I just can't get down with just.
So you're at that cocksucker level.
Yeah, like, I just can't get down with it. Like,
my husband's gonna be shocked that I'm saying this.
I'm telling your children, I'm gonna save this for, you know, bring your parent to school day or whatever.
So we are going to be doing a segment called Gimme the Business, which means that we are going to talk about something business related and give you guys some awesome tips and tricks and good shit that goes along with it. So today on the show, we are going to be talking about productivity hacks. So let's get into it, Amy. Do you want to start with some productivity hacks that you have?
Oh, gosh, I wish I could. I feel like that you would be a lot better on productivity hacks. I mean, I could definitely talk about life productivity, sort of. It's not even productivity hacks. It's more like cutting corner hacks. I guess that's productivity.
Right? I know that, like, hacks is like a word sometimes that people have feelings about. But I mean, I don't mind the word. Really, I don't believe that it's like a shortcut word. I believe that it means something that not everybody may know about or have like a set way of going about it. So, okay, so the first one I think is the biggest one. So I feel like people like me are extremely organized people, and I don't feel overwhelmed most of the time when I like have a lot on my plate, because I'm able to do something called chunking it up. And I think that so chunking it up is like a serious, I think, productivity.
I don't like that term though.
But that's what you do. You like piecing it up. Like,
is it like block scheduling?
It's like, okay, so let's think of all of the shit like on your to-do list, okay? So, and you can usually put those things in different categories. And so let me, I'll use like a story or something else to reference instead of actually doing things. So think about a recipe. So let's say you're going to be cooking a fucking egg salad sandwich, okay? So you have the set of directions, like the set of steps that you have to follow to get to the end goal, which is the delicious egg sandwich, if you like eggs. So when you're making something, are you looking at the thing as a whole other than to get like in the ingredients? No, you're looking at it like, okay, I gotta do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. So if you look at like your to-do list as something like a recipe, instead of as a whole, then you're able to kind of look at each piece or each step to accomplish your end goal. So one way that you can do that is separating the shit that you have to do in categories. So let's say there's like social media shit that you have to do for the day, or internal stuff in your business, or follow-up or nurturing things. So if you separate those, then you can kind of just like recipe down them. So like on social media, if you have you're scheduled to make a post a day or respond to something else. So you can look at that as a chunk, separating it from all of the other shit. And then that kind of makes you feel a little bit less overwhelmed, I guess. Unmute. Wait. Unmute.
Okay.
Proceed.
So it's sort of like when you're grocery shopping, like you get everything from the fruit section while you're in the fruit section.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Because, I mean, if you look at your list as a giant list, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to be here forever. Like, I have to get all this shit. But, like, when I write my grocery list, I write it kind of in the order that I walk in the store. And I know people actually that have, like, layouts of stores. And so they write it in the sections. But for people that feel overwhelmed very easily, so let's just talk about, like, organizing a funnel for some, like a lead magnet that you're putting out. So there's a recipe for that. So you write the fucking lead magnet, and then you get your landing page going, and then you get your email sequences going. And so then if you do each piece by piece, then it doesn't seem like you have so much on your plate and so much to do.
I like that. I've never actually heard of that. I've heard of so many different other productivity, like scheduling list, whatever, but I've never heard of that, which makes me sad a little bit. That's a great, see, I've learned. So I've heard a lot about block scheduling, which unfortunately block scheduling doesn't work super great for me. But I understand the rationale behind it. And I know I don't remember the book, but there is an author that talks about certain activities should be done certain times of the day. Mm-hmm. Like, it's one of the reasons, like, you do like your biggest brain work at the beginning of the day, and then you leave administrative tasks to like the end of the day. So I've heard a lot of that stuff, but yeah, I've never heard of chunking it up. And I'm going to need another term for that. It just reminds
me. Chunk it up.
I just have so many visualizations of various chunky things.
You know what? I feel you. And I'm looking for this like graphic that I have that's also super helpful. So it helps you like categorize like the shit that you have to do. So like if it's urgent and important, or urgent and not important, and it kind of will streamline exactly how you go about them.
Gabe Arnold, which is our guest for in 2 episodes, I believe he does something similar to that. I think he recently did. And I have a quadrant system.
Yeah.
I have a quadrant system where, and then I've seen this end system that I really like, and it's, you circle, and this is also starting into like what you should outsource, I think, where it's like, end, does it energize you? Is it a neutral task, or does it drain you? And it's the same thing. So you just, if it's something that's draining you, then that's something that you need to look at either outsourcing, or those are things that you do at certain times of the day or a week. So I've heard about a lot of those systems.
So the box that I was talking about, and it's essentially the same thing. And again, it kind of dictates what you do. It's actually called the Eisenhower box. So like Dwight Eisenhower, who, managed like an army in like the country, said that basically everything can fit into one of these 4 boxes.
Can you share your screen with us?
Yep. So basically everything can fit into one of these 4 boxes. So they're either, and I'm like pointing at my screen and shit. So they're either important and urgent, important, not urgent, not important and urgent, and not important and not urgent.
Oh my gosh, scientifically, I completely understand this. This reminds me of what you do with genetic typing.
Okay. Yeah. So what you do is then you fill out this quadrant of all of your shit. And like, for example, like in the urgent and important are things that you have to do now. Like you have deadlines and you have to accomplish like client stuff. The important but not urgent things are things that can be scheduled. So working on your relationship building, or working on a book that you're writing, or a lead magnet that you're writing. So the not important but urgent are things like sending like your customers a customer survey, sending an offer to people, creating a new offer, or like scheduling, booking stuff for travel. They're all things you have to do, but they're not important in this moment. And then finally, the not important and not urgent are like fuckery things, like fucking around on Facebook or cleaning out your spam or whatever, time waster type things. Now, on that note, I do want to say that it is important that you do that stuff. I'm not saying don't not fuck around, because it's important to have a pattern interrupt, and to get, some free time and cool shit going on for you. But then, like the boxes say, you can do that. You do them, you decide them and schedule them, you delegate them to your VA or an employee, or then you eliminate the bullshit.
I love that. I had no idea it was called an Eisenhower box. I'm officially going to use that, because I use that similar stuff with my clients too. I don't know if you've seen, whenever I have a new strategy client, I go over their value ladder with them. And in that, I go over what I call various visibility events. So low, medium, high visibility events. And that's just determined, like low is probably the stuff you're going to delegate or delete. No, you're not going to delete them. And then medium is, there's a priority system. But for instance, a high visibility event was something like my recent Badass Biz Summit, where it's like there's a lot of visibility around that. So there's going to be a lot more higher priorities. There's going to be time sensitivity things. But then, we do like an Eisenhower box. And then it shows them like shaking. It shows them like each day, these are your things you have to do. These are these things you have to delegate basically. And then each week, each month, and each quarter. So I think it's a very good concept. I like that a lot.
I love it. And especially if people don't have a team or are on the verge of like deciding if they should get a VA or what they should do. One thing that I actually have all my clients do is write down a list of everything that they do and how frequently that they do it, so that I can look at like what's bullshit that they're doing or the things that they can put off. Because sometimes, we work to work, like busy work, and it may not be getting us closer to our goal. So they are maybe like important but not urgent things that we could delegate to other people. So my clients, I don't think enjoy giving me their list of shit that they need to accomplish or that they do every week. But in that way, then I can set it on a schedule for them, and they can visualize and see, okay, well, this day I have more room for working on internal stuff. So the whole point of it is to allow them more time to work on their business instead of in their business. So if we can figure out what tasks they're spending a lot of time on, or their bottlenecks, then we're able to, I think, kind of reorganize and reprioritize things for them.
I think that's awesome. I can't believe you do that. I have no idea. So, okay, to not make this any longer, could you share some ideas on how people who are not really fully present, they know what they're doing, but they couldn't, like, how do you tell your clients, like, okay, I need you to tell me what you do in a week? And what if they come back and say, I have no idea. Like, I know, but I don't.
Right. So then what I do is I have them get a fucking notebook out, and every time they work on something, they just write it down on their notebook or type it or whatever they feel most comfortable with. And a lot of the times they're spending a shitload of time on the phone on discovery calls or sales calls. Well, a lot of that can be streamlined. So instead of spending an hour on a discovery call or 2 hours on a discovery call, you could have your potential client fill out a questionnaire. And that's what I do. I have my potential client fill out a questionnaire so that I can, number one, make sure that we're a good fit. And number two, usually I can see what their bottleneck is right off the bat. So then I'm able to, on our initial phone call, I can even give them a couple quick wins, and I'm nice enough to not charge them for those. But then again, then if they are on the fence about working with me or not, they have a quick win, and then they're able to like, oh shit, you know what you're talking about. This is awesome. Hired. So
Hired. We need a button. Hired button.
But most of the time, people are doing a lot of things that could be streamlined. They're sending emails to clients, or they're having status meetings with their team to see where they're at on projects. Like, fuck that. Get a task manager so that you can just look at the shit instead of spending an hour or half an hour on the phone, like chasing people down.
Love it. So that will just have to conclude our first Give Me the Business on productivity hacks.
Thank you so much for watching episode 3 of Pattern Interrupt. I hope you enjoyed Ashley as much as we do and the productivity hacks that we were able to give you. We will be on episode 4 talking about the best and worst advice that our previous guests have had. So join us then, and we will see you next time.